So, Carl, 2 wins on the trot. I believe it's the first time since the start of the season that's happened. What's the feeling around the club like?
Yeah, it's very positive. The boys are in excellent spirits, which you expect after some good performances, and they're really looking forward to getting over to the West and getting another 3 points against Perth.
And the line on the weekend was, we're not thinking of finals, it's 1 week at a time. New opponent in Perth. What have you made of Perth this season?
Yeah, look, they've when they've played at their best, they've been very good. They've had some really good results. And it wasn't too long ago here they really pushed us. They could have when we took an early 2-goal lead, they came back and took the lead. So they've got a lot of resilience there. So it's going to be a tough game, but it's important that we take the game to them. They had a midweek game as well, so it's important. It's going to be hot conditions in the middle of the day over there, so it's important that we play the game at a high tempo. And
you mentioned that quick start you had against them last time, which has been quite an anomaly this year, having the quick start. You usually score after. You can see has been the case this year. Is this something you're thinking about? Because you faded out in that game and they actually took the lead. Is that something you're thinking about this year? Is there an intention to ensure you start fast and keep it through? How are you thinking?
Yeah, look, I think we showed that last week against Western. We want to, as you say, we're still haven't given up on the hope of making finals, and it's important that every game we play, we go out there with that intent to win the game. Which means we have to go out from the first whistle to the last and really push teams and force them into mistakes. And last week we were very good for the 90 minutes, and it's important that we take that into this week's game as well.
Mm-hmm. And do you see any similarities, I guess, between you and Perth, where you're at with your on-court product, exciting teams that haven't always been able to get their best out of themselves this year?
Yeah, look, they've had some other issues, with their club there, but they've got new ownership now, so that brings a little bit of stability and it brings a little bit more confidence in the playing group as well. So look, we know they've had some good results of late, so it's important that we stick to our game plan and perform.
And how they're approaching things right now, it sounds like they're following a bit like what we're doing here in South Australia, blooding in that young Western Australian talent. What have you made of young players like a Daniel Benny, for example, that's broken out this year?
Yeah, look, it's exciting for Australian football to see young talent given opportunities. It doesn't matter which club they're at. I'm always looking at young players, and it's good to see they've got some. They've always had good young talent over the years that I was always involved in young youth football. So it's good to see that they're getting those opportunities.
Mm-hmm. And obviously they've got the young players, but we've obviously got Adam Taggart, the Socceroo up there, knows where the back of the goals are, right up in the Golden Boot standings. How do you go about stopping someone like that?
Yeah, it's difficult. He's very dangerous in and around the box, and you can see that midweek. I don't know how many shots he had against Sydney. It was like 13, 14 shots without a goal. So it's going to be a tough one, and it's going to be important for our two central defenders to make sure that they're close to him and don't give him that space in and around the edge of the box.
And in the last couple of weeks, you mentioned you've started regaining basically a full squad other than Josh and Panna. How pleasing is it for you as a coach to be able to field the team you believe gives you the best chance of winning for the first time in a while?
Yeah, look, it's very important, especially when you're getting towards the end of the season. It's good to be able to have that options of picking players and players putting pressure on each other to play in that first 11. So it's important for us, and it's a good challenge for myself. So the boys that have been playing the last couple of weeks have done exceptionally well. So they need to keep that level for us to have the success that we want.
Just an update on Johnny Gall, because he started the season with really high hopes from you especially. He's had a bit of a setback, I believe, with injuries lately, and has been making his way back through the NPL, back in the team this week. Just an update on his case. Yeah,
look, Johnny's still a very young player. He's already played more than double games this year than what he did last year, it's a tough. It's tough that we put these expectations on young players that they've got to play the full season and play at a high level, and it's very difficult for them to maintain that. And Johnny's had those issues this year where his form has been inconsistent. but we still have full belief in that he's going to be, a future Socceroo. That's our full belief in that, and it's about us developing him to be able to get him to that potential. Yes, it's he's put his hand up as well and say that he hasn't been as where he wants to be as well. So we're working with him, and this year we still expect him to get back into the team and have an impact in the games.
And finals are obviously out of your hands. You can't do anything about that. You can just control on finishing the season strong. It's been a strong couple of weeks. Can you take anything so far from these last couple of weeks into next season and say, we've got a couple of silver linings at least here?
Yeah, look, I suppose we want to focus on this season, but we've always planning ahead, and I suppose the benefit of this season is a lot of the young players have had a lot more minutes and a lot more games this year, which will give them a lot more confidence going into next season, and hopefully they can double those minutes and double those games again next season and put their club in a very good position.